Hello everyone, welcome back to this new video. In today's video I'm going to show you how you can work with DayZ Editor and how you can create some thumbnails. For that we'll be using DayZ Editor and we'll be using Photoshop to make the end result of the thumbnail look a bit better. And I'm going to show you how you can download DayZ Editor as well. So first off, we're going to do that. We'll open up Steam and we'll go to Workshop. Then you'll search for DayZ Editor in the search bar if I can type. There we go, DayZ Editor. Make sure to subscribe to DayZ Editor Loader and to DayZ Editor. You can just click on this subscribe button. It should say subscribe to you. I'm already subscribed to it. Then you can go back to your library and start up your DayZ. You got to start up DayZ through the normal launcher to make the DayZ Editor work for you, because you can't use the any external launchers. Go to parameters first and go to all parameters and make sure this command line checkbox is unchecked, because otherwise you're gonna get an error and it will not boot up correctly. Go to mods and search for DayZ Editor and DayZ Editor Loader. I'm gonna ask you if you want to have a couple other mods loaded with the selected mods you just selected, your DayZ Editor and DayZ Editor Loader, right? Make sure to allow that as well to load with it. That makes it so that the mod will run properly. And you can choose some extra mods as well, like clothing, or if you want to have a horse, or if you want to have custom skies or stuff like that. So I just search for the mods I want to have loaded with it now, like survivor animations, which makes it so you can have like a gun on your shoulder or extra animations. And also make sure to select any of the modded maps if you want to make thumbnail on those maps, or if you want to like load them in DayZ Editor, you gotta check them in the mods as well. And if you don't know the mods the server that you're playing on uses and you want to use them in the DayZ Editor, you can actually use the external launcher, DayZ launcher, to look into the server information and like the mods they use. For instance, let's say you want to have a specific mod that you had on Zero Genars, for instance. You just click on info here and you can see all the mods they have here. And you can just then go back to the DayZ launcher and just type them in here. A bit easier than having to figure out and remember every mod, because that's impossible, of course. Once you have every mod selected that you want to have selected, make sure to click on play and boot up your DayZ Editor. Once you got DayZ Editor booted up, make sure to click on open editor and choose the map you want to load. I'm going to load Autistix because I had that in the mod folder and I want to play on that. Close that. And maybe it looks a bit overwhelming if you never use DayZ Editor. There's some couple standard controls you need to know. Space will hide your cursor and make you able to move the camera from left to right with your mouse. If you click space again, you will be back into this menu. Y will close the UI, but you can make a picture and stuff like that without any menu in front of you. WASD will make you move around. If you scroll, it goes faster. If you scroll up, scroll down, it will go slower. If you press shift, you get like a little boost when moving the camera around. Q makes the camera go up and Z makes the camera go down. Those are the standard controls with the camera. You do spawn in with a character by standard, but we're not going to use this one. We'll load in our own survivor in a minute. I'll show you how you can do that. First, we want to find a location now where we can set up and dress up our character and make a picture. We could fly around the map and find a place we want to make this character, or where we want to make this picture, or we could press M, which shows you the map. Left mouse button makes you drag the map around. You can see all the locations from Autistix on here. Let's say we want to make a screenshot in Boros. We'll just click middle scroll button on the map, on the area we want to go to, and it will TP us to there. You can see we're in Boros now. And if you're having any lag, right, or if you want to have the render distance more up, we can change that as well. If we go up to editor, then we go up to options, it will show you this option like the standard DayZ options, right? But you'll have camera here, and then you can choose your view distance. And that way, if like you have a low NPC, you can turn this down and it will help you loads with it not crashing as much. Also, one thing you could do is go to your task manager if you're still having issues with it crashing much, and then you go to details, search for DayZ, and then left mouse button set priority to high, which makes the DayZ editor run a lot smoother. If you're still having issues, sorry about that, but it does crash here and there. It tends to crash here and there, unfortunately. Sometimes I have to do things 4 or 5 times in a row before I can get the screenshot. We want to find a cool location, right, to put our character in. Oh, and sometimes, for some reason, sometimes the scroll wheel doesn't work with the speed. Changing the speed, and that you can also do in editor options. And then you just turn the speed down here. That way it goes a bit slower. I'm gonna put it quite a bit slower because I want to get the perfect angle. I do quite like how this looks. All right, now we kind of know where we want to make our shot. What we'll do is we'll press spacebar again, bring up the UI with Y, search for survivor. It's already here at the moment. You can just click on it and it will give you an option to put the character down if it, yeah, sometimes it goes a bit through objects, but we can fix that in a minute. If we control the character, right button makes it so it puts it down. Then you can click on the character with your right button, with your left button, I'm sorry. And then you click with your right button on control character. Don't worry about the yellow lines, they will be gone in a minute if we when we set up our character pose. But make it move around so that it's a bit loaded in correctly. Then you press home and that makes it go back to the menu settings. Click left button again, go to edit inventory so we can dress up our character. And now you're like, oh no, where's my character, right? It's not loaded in. You just click left mouse button or space, or what was it again? Used to work for me all the time. Oh yeah, well sometimes it takes a bit, but now we're in this inventory. You can see we got a couple options here. We can go for the hat, we can go for the gloves, for the shoulders, the guns on the shoulders, or melee weapons, or whatever we want to have on the shoulders. You can choose an armband, we can choose backpack, top, or shoes. This is not really important. You can choose a custom hat if you want. Go for a belt, for your jeans, for a vest, like a, or no, this is a mask. I thought it said fast, but you can choose your mask, you can choose your vest here. From the shoulder, like I said, for the other shoulder. And then you can also go for sunglasses or anything like that. I'm gonna dress up my character and I'll be right back in a minute. Okay, so let's say you get your character all done and dusted, however you want to have it dressed up. Then you just go and press home or press escape. Escape works. Press space again, and now you want to probably have it in a position, right? Or in a animation. Maybe you want to have the gun in your hand. Maybe you want to have the character just stand in a pose like this. I'm gonna show you both options. Don't worry about the color. Like it looks a bit darker for some reason. If you're not able to open your inventory, because I'm having the same issues, just press escape, go to the options, go to controls, and rebind your inventory button to something else for now. And you can change it back, of course, after you want to play later on. And now it works fine. I don't know what it is, but it is a thing. I want to have my character right now. You can have the gun raised up like this, for instance, to get like a shot like that, or maybe you want to have a shot a bit or closer with the gun. You can do all kinds of stuff like that. I want to have mine probably like this with the character in it, although it looks a bit empty at the moment. So I might want to have it moved around a bit. So we can do that by selecting our character. Why is the menu gone? Yeah, if you don't see the menu, you just click on these arrows and shows you again. Shows them again. Put your character, or if you want to have it. Takes time to get a good shot. Gotta be patient with it. I want to actually have it a bit more uphill, I think. Aiming down. You might find that it's not angled right. Like it's not right on the surface now. Or snap to the surface, right? Because the hill's going down. If you click on the character and then you click on align to the surface, it will make it so it does snap to the surface perfectly. Well, if I do snap to the surface, it's probably gonna... that's okay. Sometimes it just moves it through the ground. I actually quite like how this looks. Yeah, this is perfect. Make it so... if you want to change the weather, you can just go to editor environment, for instance. Make the weather a bit more... more like the sun is shining on the character, so it pops out a bit. Maybe a bit more cloudy. You can even do rain if you want. And then you can go to view camera, change the FOV. One, like have it really zoomed out or really zoomed in. You can change the exposure and how light you want to have it. Sharpness. You want to have like an inner shadow a little bit, or maybe a blur. Have a blur, but only blur the background, right? You can change that as well. Quite some stuff to toy around with. Look at that. Actually quite like this. Although I feel like the character's still too far away. You were able to, in like earlier updates, you were able to change the FOV even more and zoom it even more in, but you can't anymore as much as I would like to. I think we'll go for this. So once you're satisfied with your picture, right? You just close the HUD and like use any screenshot app you want to use, or do control print screen, what I always do. And then you just go to your Photoshop or Canva or any program that is similar to Photoshop, because we're gonna use some features from Photoshop, unfortunately. So if you don't have Photoshop, might be some features you can't use, but there are a couple that you can apply. So we'll go to new file, and then we'll choose the resolution of a thumbnail, right, which 920 by 1080. That's the best quality you can have. Then we do Control V, place our picture, size it with Control T. You can select your object, squeeze it down so that it fits perfectly. We can even size it up a bit more if we want in Photoshop to make it look a bit better, right? Make the character a bit more centered. I would say this is pretty good. And with Alt and scroll, you can scroll. If you scroll back, you scroll out, and if you go forward, you scroll back in. This is how we can see from a distance how our thumbnail looks. And I think this is actually quite good already, but it can be better. It can be way better. Close your DayZ editor if you have your picture in it and you're satisfied with this picture, of course. You can take multiple pictures and line them all up. That's what I do sometimes to get the perfect picture, but I actually quite like already how this one looks. So I'm gonna close my DayZ editor so that it doesn't memory. And then we'll start with the photoshopping. First thing I always do is cut out the character from the background image so we can change the character individually. English is very good. And with that, I do that with the pen tool. Just cut out your character. Make sure you select the layer your character is on. And then just go around, select every little bit of your character. Make sure to cut it out until you're like all the way around, and I'll show you then what you need to do. And if you want to like reverse an action, you can just do Ctrl Z and it will reverse it, or Ctrl Shift and it will go forward. Once you're done with like selecting your character, make sure to connect the lines, the end to the beginning. Do left mouse button make selection. I'll pop up with this screen. I haven't changed anything on this. I'll just keep it like this. New selection. Makes you select everything you just selected from or went around with the pen tool. Make a new layer and then press Ctrl J. No, oh, and make sure to still select this character. Make Ctrl J. Makes a new layer where you have your character cut out on. Like that. Now you can still see there's some gaps here in between. Just do the same thing with these areas. Make sure to select them with the pen tool, and then I'll show you how you can remove them. And connect the end to the beginning. Left mouse button, make selection. And then instead of Ctrl J, because you don't want to copy this area, you just press delete and it will remove the area. Do the same with the other two. And just like that, you removed every area that you don't want to have. Now we just got our character module. And we can make it stand out more from the background now. First thing I always do is add a new layer underneath our character. Go to the left here. Click on our color palette thingy here. Change it to white. Go to your brush tool. And then you get the circle. If you click these two buttons on the screen, I don't know what they're pronounced as, but I'll show you on screen. You can make the circle bigger and the circle tinier. For this, we'll make the circle a bit bigger because we want to pop up. We want to put some light behind our character to make it pop out a bit more from the background. You just press right mouse button and you just go along. Don't be too gentle with it. And then we'll change the normal setting to soft light. Change the opacity down to whatever it looks normal to us. I also want to look a bit from a distance to see how it looks, because it should make it pop out more. And then we'll put a layer above our character. This one is gonna be like our outer line glow, like the sun shining on the object. Make it a little bit tinier so that it just about hits the character softly. Let's say I put a bit too much light, right? We can use the eraser tool to remove some of it. Then we'll go and do overlay. Overlay it with our character. If we go to our quick selection tool and put it on minus, we can deselect it again, and then we can adjust it a little bit with opacity. A little bit more down, see how much that changed a tiny little bit, but it makes a difference. And then I want to sharpen our character, actually make it a bit more sharper. How we can do that is we click on our character layer, we press Alt, or we hold Alt and click our left mouse button on the character. We go to this little rectangle, sharpen tool, and we'll just brush lightly over it until it looks good. Deselect it again and look at that, it already looks a bit sharper. Now we want to make it a bit more vibrant, so we'll go to adjustments, click on the layer you want to, in this case our module, want to change, right? Click on brightness and contrast, it will add another layer. Just hold Alt, and that makes it so that it only changes our character now. Lighter, a little bit more contrast, just a tidbit. Then we're gonna add saturation with a bit more color where it looks better. And now we'll add another layer above our character, and we're gonna put some more lightning on it with our brush tool. This time we're gonna do the light spots on our character, make it a bit more brighter. Change the mode from normal here to linear dodge. Opacity, you change that to 20, around 20. And we're just gonna brush in the light spots on our character. And there you go. We got our character brushed in. Looks really good already, but we can change it a little bit more. Go to overlay and then change the opacity again to however, whenever it looks good. You can already see that it's a big difference, right? It pops out a bit more, but it can still be better by selecting another layer, then going to the brush tool again, doing it on, putting it on normal, the opacity all the way back to 100, selecting our character, and this time we're just gonna brush every little line and object in our character, even make it pop out more. And then you go over and paint all these lines and little details in. And I need to add a note. My PC crashed mid this segue. I've already done a bit. What you get is that you paint all of these little details. Let me finish this first. So once you're done with that, and you got your whole character like colored in this way, you go over to here and you put it to overlay, and then turn the opacity all the way down until it looks perfect for you. Actually, this looks quite perfect for me already. We can still make it better by brightening up the other colors like the skin tone and the eyes, hair. It's the same method, you just add another layer. But this time, if you hover your mouse over the color you want to have and you click on your right mouse button, you get the color of that certain area, for this instance the skin. And we'll make it just a little bit more brighter, and we're gonna select our character again, pressing Alt. Make sure you select this layer, the new layer, and then we'll just brush this all in. And there you go. And I'll put it on soft light. I think it actually looks quite good already. I'm always like choosing between soft light or overlay. Sometimes overlay looks better, sometimes soft light looks better. In this case, I feel like soft light is a bit better, so we'll keep it that way. That's already a big difference. Like you can see that the skin pops out a bit more. And we're gonna do the same for the hair and the clothing. It's the same process, so I'm just gonna speed through it. And there we go. Now we only need to adjust the background a little bit. I would say it could be a bit more brighter, contrast, and maybe we want to add some more saturation. Much because, well, we want to still have our character stand out. Then I like to add a little bit of shadow on the edges of the thumbnail as well. So I'll make the color black, and I'll make the brush pretty big and just go roughly around the edges, and then put it on linear dodge. I don't see a difference now. Is it just me, or I guess I'll just keep it on normal then. Then maybe adjust the lights a little bit. Drop light, I feel like it could be a bit more up. And now that we colored everything and balanced all the colors as a whole, we're gonna merge all the layers. Gonna click on the square rectangle mark tool. Select the whole thumbnail. Go to filter, to camera filter. Or a raw filter, and then this will pop up, and we're gonna do some slight changes, make it a little bit more balanced. Can really change a lot in here, like the contrast and exposure. If you're done with messing around with the camera filter, you can just press on OK and it will apply the changes, and then you can go to export as. Then this menu will drop up. It has to be 920 by 1080. It's the same settings you started with, and I'll just like to have it on JPEG because it's a higher quality thumbnail, and don't change anything here. And I'll just go on export, and I'll just give it a name. In this case, I'll just call it Astiker and save. And that's how you make a thumbnail. I hope this guide was helpful. If you have any more questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments. If you have any more issues as well with DayZ Editor, I'll drop the Discord from the DayZ Editor down in the comments as well in the description, where you can report any bugs or see if there's any bug fixes. This is how I found some of the bugs and issues I had with DayZ Editor and on how to fix them. Of course, there's still some bugs in DayZ Editor, so keep in mind that there's still gonna be a couple issues here and there. I hope they're going to be updated soon and going to be fixed. If you found this helpful, make sure to drop a like and to subscribe if you want to see more. And with that, I see you guys in the next one. See ya!